Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M12, the Tier 7 American SPG. This one is located on the southwest spawn of Karelia, and this one is under the command of RaySpruance. Game on. Well, the M12, they built 100 by March of 1943. It was actually proposed in 1941 to supply the American Armed Forces with a long-range artillery, and at that time it was known as the T6 GMC. It was built on the hull of an M3 Grant, or M3 Lead, depending on which country the tank was for. I should say M3 Lee really, because it's an American vehicle. Oh, he slid off the mountain. I think he was trying to sit on the top of it. Okay, ready for action. And he's aiming up the Southwest Passage. Or the Heavy Tank Lane. Or Southeast Passage, I should say. Okay, first enemy tanks coming to sight. It's a KV-1S. Rounds out. Lands short, but it does stun him, and he's picking up some stun assist. Now, the 155mm howitzer will do 600 alpha, and it will penetrate through 39mm of armour with a burst radius of 7.2 meters. It's a French design. I think I may have mentioned that many times before, but it was a very successful French design from the First World War. Hands out. Direct hit. And that looks like it was a penetrating shot because he got 545, which is a low roll penetrator. So, good shot that one. He's getting a red line on there, so I think that he's not able to get that target because there's a rock in the way. That Chiri's coming up the onto the horseshoe. If he gets to the top, I think you can pump around into him. But he's found another enemy, a T-150. No, he can't hit that guy. And he's lost sight of the Chiri now. Okay. There's that T-150. He's opened himself up to a shot now because he pulled back. The rocks were giving him cover while he was behind. And he suddenly realised, yes, he's gone back behind the rocks because our teammates in the other Artys actually hit him. We've got a GW Panther and an M44 as our teammates on our side. The enemy team's got a GW Panther, a Ray 15550 and a Hummel, and that was a direct hit on the Type 62. Okay, it's Tier 7 game with Tier 6 tanks in it. Okay, he's loading. Almost there. 26 seconds by the book for reload. He's managed to get it down to 22. You don't get a whole lot of ammunition in this Arty, only 20 rounds in total. As you can see at the moment he's got 17 available. Okay, he has actually gone for a mixture, and he has got some armor piercing rounds, although I tend to say that the armor piercing really are a bit of a waste of time. And in fact, although Wargaming has been able to put at least one person forward who actually played armor piercing and nothing but armor piercing for a game and actually did get a lot of damage and a lot of hits, I think they were doing it for a laugh, and I'm not so certain that it's actually true and effective. In fact, I believe that you'll actually be less effective by using any round that doesn't have stun and doesn't rely on a direct hit to kill. He got the Chiri there. A nice shot right into the rear of the tank, which actually hit the engine bay, and he's out the game. The Type 62 though is still in the game, and he's just been spotted on the ramp. Oh, our VK3002M just blew up because he got hit by P43 Biz. And Amaract. It's difficult because there's no enemy in sight at the moment that we can obviously go for. I suppose the only place we can fire at with any reliability would be that tank destroyer position behind the trees and behind the rock up at the north end of the East Passage. But at the moment there's going to be nobody there to spot for us because all our tanks have pulled back, well back. can't say I'm particularly happy. Oh, we just saw where one of the Artys was. We saw the shell come out, the tracer came out from near their base. In fact, it does look like the enemy Arty has hardly moved away, and he got a direct hit there on the VK3002M. I get the feeling the enemy Arty hasn't moved away from his spawn position. And there's the VK in the distance. We can see he's still got some stun. But we're going for the Strip 74 because he's got fairly light armor. It looks like he's using that rock for cover. Rounds out. That looks good. It is good. 322, but that is a high roll non-penetration shot. And it looks like our teammates are going for him as well. Yep, he's definitely in trouble. Strip at this moment is going to be regretting that Wargaming didn't drop the number of Arty per game to only one and leave the damage alone, because he's now being victimized by 3 Artys at the same time and he doesn't particularly like it. Okay, IS and IS2. I think he can hit the IS fairly easily. The IS2, maybe, it's just the front of the vehicle. But he does hit him, 254, and it looked like actually he's stunned. He's stunned the other one as well, the IS behind him. He definitely hit the IS2 though. 254 hit points of damage, another non-penetrator. Rounds out. Oh, only a small amount of the vehicle to play with, but he did hit him again for another 175, and he's now aiming at the VK3002M. Rounds out. This could be a kill. It is. Now, only 74 of the M12s are actually sent overseas to actually fight in the European theatre. The rest of them were kept in the United States for training purposes. And the armor-piercing rounds are able to penetrate through 7 feet of concrete. 7 feet! That's an awful lot of concrete. And there's only one left in the United States, and that's at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. And it's called Adolph's Assassin. And it's in their museum. I did ask once why the Tank Museum doesn't have any SPGs in there. They do have a couple of wrecks of SPGs out the back. But they told me, no, the Royal Artillery has all our artillery pieces. And we don't keep artillery pieces because we're the Tank Museum. Well, that was their answer. I thought it was a bit disappointing, especially considering they've got an Su-76M in there. And of course the Su-76M, apart from being used as a tank destroyer, was actually a self-propelled gun, and it was frequently used for indirect fire. Now, according to the figures, the only 2 commanders, the only 2 people on the crew who actually were inside the vehicle whenever it was moving were the commander and the driver. And they actually were inside the vehicle. It's a bit like the AMX-13F3. They also had the driver and the commander inside the vehicle, whilst the rest of the crew were outside. But the crew of the M12 were never actually strapped onto the back of the vehicle, although some of them I think they might have. There wasn't a lot of space on the vehicle. In fact, they didn't have that many rounds available. What they did is they actually had a second vehicle called an M30 cargo carrier, which was basically the same as the M12, but without any gun. And that would carry all the rounds that the M12 needed. The M12s were built by a company called the Pressed Steel Car Company. So presumably they were manufacturing automobiles up until the point that they were put into war service, just as Ford we're also producing... oh, we found one of the Artys. Professional courtesy, got to take him out. Well done! Beautiful direct hit, wipes him out. Yes, Ford were manufacturing trucks and cars and engines, and of course they were pressed into war service as well, and they manufactured just about everything that was needed by the US government. So did General Motors, for that matter. In fact, it was rather silly of nations like Japan to even contemplate the point that they could beat America, considering the might that America had to manufacture objects. And he's got another one! I think that's why Yamamoto knew that he'd awakened a sleeping giant after they attacked Pearl Harbor, and that they were going to lose the war. In fact, he originally said, and it's believed that he said, that for 2 years he would run havoc around the Pacific. Stop doing that, I'll take control. He was going in and out. Yes, for 2 years I will rain havoc, and after that I won't. Well, I don't think he said after that I won't, but I think he realised that after that 2 years was up, America's ability to produce weapons would defeat the Japanese, and they just wouldn't be able to win. So he was well aware, because of course Yamamoto spent a lot of time in America. In fact, actually, he rather liked America. In fact, he was very much against the attack on America, but when he was forced to plan Pearl Harbor, he did, because of course it was required. 237 off the Su-152. The enemy's down to just 2 vehicles left, the Hummel and that Su-152, and we're going for the kill. If we can get this, it's counter battery time. Just waiting for the reload to go through. Please let us get this one. Oh! Denied! The kill shot went to the VK3001P, and he was up on the horseshoe, and so we got no chance of getting a counter battery now, but we can take this last kill, and we do! And that's his 5th kill, and it ends the game for RaySpruance. I think you all know that I love a great gamer. That was certainly one of them. It's a second mark of excellence for RaySpruance on his M12, so he's got 2 marks, 2 stars on his barrel. He got an ace tanker from that game, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 11. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, as I said, 1 short of a Top Gun, and also 1/3 of the enemy team. He got a Gauze medal because he did more damage than 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle, and he also got a high caliber for dealing the most damage on the enemy overall. In fact, this game took place earlier today, and yes, I am showing it now rather quickly after it came out, because I thought, yes, this was a rather good game. Let's have a look at team score and see where he is. Well, he's top of the table when it comes to damage with 2,933 hit points. The next highest scorer was the VK3001P, the guy who stole away that counter battery. He got 1,750. And the third highest, oh actually no, he's the 3rd place, because the second highest damage was that Strip 74. I'm sorry I belittled him there. He got 1,859 hit points of damage up on the horseshoe, firing from behind the rock. When it came to kills, yep, RaySpruance has got that one as well. 5 kills to him, 4 kills to the VK3001P, and 2 kills to the LTG and the P43 Biz on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, unfortunately this time round it was the VK3001P who got the honours with 1,186, and 1,088 went to the to RaySpruance, and 748 went to the LTG. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf said. 15 shots fired, so he still had 5 rounds left at the end of the game. 10 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrations on the enemy, 13 splash. I'm pretty sure that the penetrations were one of the Arty, and of course that big shot that he fired in, which did a lot of damage to the Chi-Ri in 1 shot. And I think we might be able to see that. Yep, it was the Lorraine 15550, definitely penetrated him. And yes, it was the Chi-Ri. Yes, he certainly got a big hit on that guy. 13 splash on the enemy as well. 2,933 hit points, of which 2,674 broke more than 300 meters. So that Su-152 was actually quite close when he hit him. He was well within the 300 meters. 10 enemy vehicles damaged. That's 2/3 of the enemy team were damaged. 5 of them were killed. And 901 hit points of stun assist off 10 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he earned 31,049 credits, and after ammunition resupply took away 14,049 credits. 1,088 base XP, no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. But he's got his second gun mark now, which means that, yes, he can display that and say, I'm close. He's got 85% and he's on his way up to the 95 to get that third mark. It won't be long before RaySpruance gets it. That was a really good game, and I'm glad I did it quickly so you can all get to see it straight away, just in case you didn't download it. And congratulations to RaySpruance. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, do let people know that we've got this channel and that we've got a second channel called The General. And it's got some really great replays in there without any commentary whatsoever. Every day I'm busily putting up as many replays as I can onto that channel and others. In fact, people are starting to take notice of it because they've actually seen some of their own replays on there and sent me messages thanking me for it. So yes, we are getting a good response. Thanks for watching.